Hi there, I'm Janeen from Club MojoCircle, and welcome to our presentation today for our discussion circle on why we need a mindfulness mindset. So let's jump right into it. So why we need a mindfulness mindset? It's a pretty interesting question, and I think what makes this really interesting is that we hear so much about mindset, we hear so much about mindfulness, but we don't often hear it put together. So I decided I'd put it together and go, why is it important? And so let's have a look at what mindset and mindfulness actually mean, because there's many people, I think, have very different versions of what they think these two words mean. So let's go. So mindset, as it says, mindset is everything. Yes. And you listen to the sports coaches and the sports people and they go, mindset's everything. Yeah. And 99% of the battle is getting yourself in the right state of mind. Yeah. And it's true. It's true. And if you believe in the law of attraction, which I do, what we focus on is what we create in our life. And so it's okay to say, well, mindset is everything, but what really is mindset? So what that means is, or what mindset means, is it determines basically how we are in our life. It determines our attitude to everything in our life. It determines how we approach everything, which often goes along with our attitude determines how we approach things as well. We talk about, people, oh God, they had such a bad attitude. Or we say, oh, they've got such an attitude. And it was really attitudey the way I said that too. and when we say someone's got such an attitude, we mean they've got a bad attitude, meaning that they're not easy to get along with, or they're difficult, or they're aggressive, all these negative things. And what we'll usually find is that comes from a negative mindset. It also usually comes from very low self-esteem and lack of confidence, but that's another presentation to do. So our mindset determines how we cope with challenges, and what's set in front of us, and then it's our mindset that actually controls how well do we manage to achieve success. Do we manage to get through the really bad, crappy things that happen? Because, as Lynn knows, life, shit just happens. And you got to say it just like that. Excuse the words, but sometimes it does. And it's our mindset that determines how well we're able to cope with that and get through to the other side. Mindset also determines how we relate to others. Because if we have a really positive mindset, then we're much more open and usually more generous, and people will like us and be attracted to us. If we have a very negative mindset and we're always whinging about things and complaining and, all of those horrible things, we don't want to be around people like that. It's negative energy and we don't want to be there. So our mindset does determine how well we're going to relate to others. It determines how and what we learn in life. With mindset, you'll hear people talk about whether you have a fixed or a growth mindset. And a fixed mindset means that you believe that you just are who you are. As someone said to me once, you can't change your personality. And that's a bit of a fixed mindset, because we so can change our personality. Because our personality is really just how we are in the world, and it's determined by our mindset. and our attitude and everything, and our frame of reference and everything else. So the fixed mindset means, people with a fixed mindset aren't open to growing. And obviously people with a growth mindset are not only open to growing, but they want to grow. And I'm talking about personal development, learning more about ourselves, as well as learning anything in life. If we have a growth mindset, we will be wanting to learn as much as we can about anything that interests us. So that determines how we change and grow throughout our life. And it all determines our general demeanor in the world, or our personality, if you want to call it that. So the coolest thing about the mindset is that you can choose what your mindset is. You have the power and the control. Now, sometimes that might seem like a bit of a fairy story, or like I'm not really talking reality, but you can. Sometimes it takes a lot of discipline. Sometimes it's really hard to let go of that negative mindset that you've had all of your life, because everyone around you helped you create and keep that negative mindset. But you can change it. And I think that's the most important thing to remember about mindset, is being aware of what your mindset is, and then consciously choosing how do you want your mindset to be. Because it's basically what you think about and how you think about it. It is what our mindset comes down to. So with discipline, with persistence, we can change from being a negative thinker to a positive thinker. So speaking of that, what we think about, that takes us into mindfulness. So mindfulness is the intentional, accepting, and non-judgmental focus of our attention on our emotions, our thoughts, our sensations, and how they occur right now, right here in the present moment. So when you're mindful, you're being aware of how you're thinking. You're being aware of how you're feeling and what sensations are occurring for you. We did last week we did the presentation on intuition, and we talked about gut sensations and having a gut feel, and actually feeling a tightness in our gut when things weren't going right, or when bad things were going to happen. And when we're mindful, then we're far more in touch with our intuition, because we're aware of what's happening within our body and in our mind and where our attention is. And so we pick up on the signs that help us, help our intuition pick up on what's going on for us. So that's mindfulness. Let's look at it in sort of a couple, one other way of looking at that is mindfulness is the practice of paying attention in the present moment. And in fact, in every present moment. And it's intentional and it's non-judgmental. So what that means is that when we say, oh, it's non-judgmental, instead of saying, oh my God, I had a negative thought, oh, I'm such a bad person, I've really got to change that because it's really, really bad for me. That's not being mindful, that's being aware. But mindfulness is like, oh, I had another negative thought. Okay then, well, thanks for that negative thought. It must have been trying to warn me of something. And I appreciate that my ego or my mind is trying to warn me of something. And I can make a conscious decision that I'm okay. I don't need to worry about that. And that's the process of mindfulness. It's being aware and being intentional on how do I make myself and my life better, and making those conscious choices. So when you are practicing mindfulness, you become the objective observer in your life. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this phrase. It comes up quite a bit in personal development, and it's a really good thing to have. When you are able to step back from being in the middle of your life to basically, I imagine it as my objective observer, who is me, is there on my shoulder, and they're looking at the bigger picture. And they're observing. It's like, oh, okay, so you had a bit of a meltdown then. What was that about? Where do you think that meltdown came from? What was driving you in that? And so the objective observer isn't judgmental, doesn't say, oh my God, you're such a bad person. You are such an idiot because you keep doing this. No, that's not mindfulness, and it's not our objective observer. Our objective observer tends to ask the question, why? And that's a really good question to ask. Oh, you behaved like that. I reacted like this. I responded like that. Why? I wonder what's going on for me that's what came out. So, and that's the next step. We are aware of what's going on for us. And if we're not aware of it, we're consciously trying to work it out. We want to know ourselves. We want to observe. And you're conscious of your drivers. So what drives your anger? Are you prone to anger? Well, what drives it? Where does that anger come from? Are you prone to being sad? Well, where does that come from? Why? What's the sadness? How far does it go back to your childhood? Does it go back in your life? Is there something that happened that you haven't dealt with, you haven't managed or processed? And so there's drivers, there's things that will have happened in our life that drive the way we are today, and our thought processes and our responses. So by practicing mindfulness, we become more aware and more conscious of what we're doing and what's driving us to do that. It also brings with us a high level of emotional intelligence. And I'll get into that a little bit more in the next slide. So by emotional intelligence, and again, that's another topic I could do. Oh, I'd love to do that. Having high emotional intelligence means that we are able to regulate our emotions and our responses. We have empathy and respect for others. And it gives us, like, the higher the ability, the more we are operating at what they call above the line vibrations, in positive vibrations, and the lower emotional intelligence, we're operating below the line on the really negative, yucky, or shadow stuff. Our depression, our anger, our anxiety, our hate, all of those things are below the line, and they're low emotional intelligence. So we want the feeling of gratitude, the appreciation, and love. And we want more of that in our life because it increases our vibration and we feel better. So let's look at this in a bit more. So emotional intelligence. So when we're mindful, we're better able to control our reactions and manage our relationships better. We have increased emotion regulation, which reduces impulsiveness and improves our behavior all around. I'm going to go drop down to this one down here because that's still in the emotional intelligence area. So empathy and respect. We increase our levels of empathy and respect for others because we are that objective observer. Because we're not judging others for what we see or perceive they are doing or being, we can be that non-judgmental, objective observer, and we can apply that to others as well. It's like, oh, well, that wasn't a very nice reaction. I wonder why she would have responded that way. I wonder what's going on for her that she got so angry over what I perceive to be almost nothing, or one that I have to keep dealing with. And I do question this. It's like, oh, she no longer wants to be friends and she's just ghosted me. I wonder what's going on there. And I'm sure we've all had that experience where someone supposedly was a friend and then all of a sudden they're not. But anyhow, let's get back to mindfulness. But it's the observation, the looking at it and seeing and inquiring, that inquiring mind, asking the why. So go back up here to, oh no, I'm going to continue. I'll go get my mouse. Continue on to this one, the focus on productivity. So it increases, when we're mindful, it increases our focus on what we're doing because we are very conscious of what we're thinking about in that present moment. So it allows us to be more focused on what we're doing, which will increase our productivity. So we'll get more done and we'll do it better at a higher quality because it improves our ability to pay attention and focus and concentrate. Then stress management up the top here. So it increases our ability to manage our stress. And it just makes it, because we can be more aware of like, oh my God, I'm actually feeling very stressed, because often we can feel stressed but not even be aware of it. So when we're mindful, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I've got a headache, I'm feeling really tight at the back of the head. That's my stress response. So I'm obviously feeling very stressed about something. I wonder what that's about. And then we have a think about it and try and work it out so that we can fix it. Resilience. So being mindful actually really increases our resilience because it increases our capacity to deal with and overcome the challenges. And you might be beginning to see how mindset and mindfulness actually fit together very nicely. So we go down to the pink ones here. Funnily enough, when we are mindful, we are actually more creative because we have that awareness and we also have that open mind, which means that creative and, innovative thoughts can come to us because we're not closed off going, nope, this is the way I've always done it, so therefore it's the way I'm going to continue to do it because I'm not interested in learning and changing. When we're interested in learning and changing, we look at things with a more creative eye as to, wow, how can I resolve this? How can I do this? Or what can I do? And then lastly, our well-being will improve when we are being more mindful. It really does. It's been proven scientifically that being mindful does improve our mental and physical health. And I would go, actually, and our emotional health as well. So let's look at how do we be more mindful. Yeah, did that just go ahead one? Yes. It went ahead before I was really quite ready. That's right. So tips for being mindful. The first one, be truly here, right now, this moment. Really and truly, not, off in your head. When we talk about mindfulness, we usually refer to the monkey mind. And the monkey mind is that really, really busy monkey in our head going like, oh, I've got to think about this, and 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 taking us off in all sorts of directions, distracting us, taking us back to the past, taking us to the future, making us worry, doing this, hamster wheel thing. So when we're mindfulness, we can actually, calm that monkey mind down. So that's the objective, and be truly here in the now. We often create that stillness with meditation. It's the best way to calm the mind down. We have that conscious awareness that I was just talking about. So that questioning in your mind of what and why. The fourth one, you let go of your attachment. That's really important. And you might go, well, what does that really mean? And often most of the pain we feel is because of our attachment to an expectation to things being differently to what they are now, or turning out differently. So if we let go of that attachment to a particular outcome or a story that we keep telling ourselves from the past, and we can just let it go, then we can be more mindful in the present. We have and show empathy and understanding for ourselves and others. When we're being mindful, we keep on practicing the mindfulness and learning about everything that we can. We drop all of our judgments, especially of ourselves, and but also of others. We don't keep collecting. And that is both in the mind as well as in the physical world. In the physical world, we tend to collect a whole lot of stuff. I know I have. I brought like a whole container of stuff over from Australia to France because I decided I would keep what I loved, and I still loved a lot. There you go. But when we're people who are really mindful, they don't need so much stuff around them. You know, they can get into this whole minimalistic lifestyle. And they can just let go of stuff and, you know, not collect it, not feel the need to have belongings around us. But it's also, don't keep collecting thoughts, stories, you know, our history, little things that have bugged us, little things that people have done to hurt us, to annoy us. Don't collect them. Like, just be mindful. It's like, okay, well, that happened in that moment. It was disappointing. It was sad. It was upsetting. It was hurtful. And I recognize I feel hurt by that, but I wonder why that happened. And also, I wonder why I'm feeling so hurt by it. What do I need to let go of to be able to let go of the hurt so that I'm not carrying that pain with me? The second last one is, don't feel you have to be a guru at it. Don't feel you have to do mindfulness perfect all the time, because I can tell you right now, you won't. The more you practice it, the better you'll get at it. But, you know, you're not a monk sitting in some place in the middle of India where all you do is meditate all day and they can practice mindfulness to the 120th percent. We have a life. There's a lot going on in it. We will constantly have thoughts. And with mindfulness, and sort of when we go into the meditation, it's not about rejecting the thoughts and judging yourself, going, oh my God, I've got to stop thinking, I've got to stop that. It's about accepting them and go, oh, that's a nice thought. Okay, I can let it go now. And focus on your breath. Even when you're not meditating, if you're feeling stressed or anxious or uptight, recognize when you're feeling like a negative mindset coming on, and then take yourself with your breath into that calm, mindful place. So we take, so, and this is, I've done another quote of my own. So having a mindset of mindfulness helps you be calm, grounded, growing in a personal development way, and performing at your best in all situations. So, you know, why we want a mindset of mindfulness is just because it's damn good. And it's damn good for us. And it's a really brilliant way to be. And people will want to be around us. We will want to be around us. You know, as someone say, you know, we tend to live in our minds. So make sure it's a pretty nice place to live. So that's it for the presentation. And now we're going to go into the meditation. And we'll do a Janeen version of a mindfulness meditation. So sit back, take it easy, rest, feel comfortable, and close your eyes and take a big, deep breath in and out. And now take another big, deep breath in and out with a sigh, because the sound helps you relax. And now one big deep breath in and out. Now we're going to do a bit of a different breathing exercise to what I've done in these meditations before. Just for a while, I want you to focus on your breath and breathe in. What we'll do is we'll breathe in for the count of 4. We'll hold for the count of 4, breathe out for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, and then start again. And we'll do that a few times. So beginning now. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Once more. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Now just let your breath go back to normal so you don't have to think about it. And that was an exercise in mindfulness. Just being conscious of your breath and focusing on that. And so now we're going to go into the white light part. But the first things I want to say to you is, if you find yourself being distracted by your thoughts, just thank your mind for that thought and then let it go. One thing that I've found worked for me in the past is I look at that thought like I'm looking through a window, and then I pull the blind down on that thought so that it's gone. And it's a black blind, so it keeps it dark. So you might want to try that. At the very least, each time you feel you're distracted, just bring your attention back to your breath, in and out, and focus on that. So breathing in, and we will going to open our top chakras. So we'll start with our heart chakra, and we want to open that so that we are open to the love in the world, and the world is open to the love we have to offer. And then we'll go up to our throat chakra, because that is where we speak our truth, and we want that to be open so that we are in our truth. And then up to the third eye, and we open that because that is our intuition, and that helps us to analyze what's going on and what's happening for us. And now open our crown chakra. And above your head is the most beautiful, white, warm light. And this is a very, very healing light. And it's shining down. And it's shining down through our crown chakra. And it's coming in past our and through our third eye chakra, into our throat chakra, into our heart and around our heart chakra. And it's bringing all this beautiful healing white light and energy into us. And then it's continuing on and going down through our body, through our shoulders and our arms, and down through our abdomen and our buttocks and our thighs and our calves and into our feet. And it's grounding us and bringing up the energy from the earth. There's healing, grounding energy. And then that is coming up through our body. And it's flowing all the way around through our body. And now we're going to take a moment to be mindful of what's happening in our body. With that white light going around, check in with your body that we just went through and see, where do you have stress? Where might it be feeling tight and uncomfortable? Feel into it and send this white light into any areas within your body that need healing. Send all of that warmth. If it's just a tight muscle that needs relaxing, breathe into it and send the white light there. If it's damaged or broken, then send lots and lots and lots and lots of white light to it and healing. And send that healing all through. So that now you should be feeling very, very relaxed. And your body should be as relaxed as you can get it. And I'm going to stop talking for a little while and allow you to focus on your mindfulness. And remember what I said, it's about clearing your mind, but it's also about you are aware of where you are. If you hear a noise, that's okay. If you feel uncomfortable, that's okay. If you have to scratch your nose, that's okay. If you have to wiggle a little bit, it's okay. It's all right, because none of the rest of us can hear you anyway. So take a moment to just focus on where you are right here, right now. And to the best of your ability, empty your mind and just close the blind on any thoughts that might happen. And bring that to a close, and thank your mind for whatever thoughts it brought to you. Thank your intuition for any insights that came to you in that meditation. Bring your focus back to your breathing, back to your breath, in and out. Feel the breath as you exhale on that area just below your nose, above your lip. And back to the white light. Feel that white light through your body. Feel it continuing to do healing and to heal your body. And you can keep that white light with you for as long as you need it. Anytime you need some healing, or you need some strength, or you need some guiding, just think of the white light coming through you, and particularly around your heart. And it will be there to help you. So now bring yourself back to the room that you're in. Feel your buttocks on the seat. Feel whatever's supporting your back, supporting you. And when you are ready, open your eyes. And thank you very much. That's our presentation for today. Thank you for staying with me through this presentation. And you can see my contact details there or below the video. Thanks.